And a wonderful Friday afternoon, everybody. This is Scott Manning coming to you live from Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk. It is now time for the weekend kickoff show. We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to talk about here in the next half hour. I may be longer than a half hour today. I'm just going to come right out and say it because we have a couple of big weekend series in the world of Major League Baseball. We got some big games coming up in the NBA playoffs. I'm going to address all that, but also too, we've got the big Indianapolis 500-mile race this weekend. I'm going to address that too. We have a lot to talk about. We're just going to go right into the show, and we're just going to get started. The New York Mets face the Atlanta Braves in a weekend series this weekend, and right now the entire National League East was in about 3 or 4 games of each other. I mean, the Mets are only a couple of games of above 500 for crying out loud. But this series is big because the Braves can actually get back into this thing. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, the series starts tonight, and the first game is tonight at 7 o'clock. And some of you will have a chance to see that on the MLB network. And I really hope that does happen. Tonight's matchup is an interesting one. Ian Anderson's going tonight for the Braves. He has a 4-1 record with a 2.82 ERA and 53 strikeouts on the season. The New York Mets have named Taijuan Walker their starter for tonight. He has a 3-1 record with a 2.05 ERA and 41 strikeouts to his credit. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I love this matchup tonight for a lot of reasons. You got 2 of the best pitchers in the National League. Now, the Saturday matchup I find interesting. The Atlanta Braves are sending Max Fry to the hill. He has a 2-2 record with a 4.63 ERA and 34 strikeouts. The New York Mets, I'm not sure about this one. David Peterson's going to be going. He's only 1-4 on the season with a 4.91 ERA and 49 Ks. If he loses tonight, he may be headed back to the minors. The Sunday matchup I find interesting. Charlie Morton's going for the Braves. He has a 3-2 record with a 3.98 ERA and 61 strikeouts. And who's he going to be facing? Jacob deGrom, Mr. Consistency. A 3-2 record with a 0.80 ERA, 74 strikeouts. He leads the team in that department. But I've also got some other names of interest that you might want to think about going to this weekend. The Atlanta Braves hitting. There are 2 big power hitters that they have. Austin Riley. Right now, he's hitting .312 with an OBP of .405. 49 hits, 9 home runs, 21 RBIs on this season. Ronald Acuna Jr. is another one. He may be hitting .273, but 15 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 44 hits. Look out for him. And also, too, on the other side of the ball, for the New York Mets, Dominic Smith. He may be hitting .245 with 2 home runs and 15 RBIs, but he leads the team in hits with 35. Pete Alonso. This guy is a very dangerous dude. 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, 30 hits on this season. Michael Conforto. He's hitting .230 right now, but he has the best OBP of .356 with 2 home runs and 13 RBIs. I find the Mets-Braves series pretty interesting because right now the entire National League East they're just within a couple of games of each other, and I'm not just talking about those 2 teams. I'm talking about the whole division. As the National League East become the laughingstock of the NL East, there's been a lot of talk about that. I don't know what's going on. Now, the Mets got a little bit of a late start because of COVID. But I've been thinking about this too. Francisco Lindor, remember him? The Mets gave him 10 years and $341 million. He's only hitting .185 right now. So, everybody's been asking me, Scott, can the Mets run away? I'm going to say no. You know what? Let's play a little game. Let's have a little fun with this. Do you think the New York Mets are going to run away with the NL East? Do you vote that one up or do you vote that one down? I'm going to vote that one down because right now, the NL East right now is so close to each other. And think about this. The team batting average for the Mets is only .225. The Braves, they're only hitting .235 as a ball club. The ERA for the Mets is better as a team with a 3.19 ERA, and Atlanta has a 4.17 ERA. Think about that. As we go into this weekend, a lot of people have said, look out, things are going to get interesting. We'll see what happens this weekend with these 2 teams. They're the Sunday night game. And the matchup I've mentioned, Charlie Morton versus Jacob deGrom, that's the game on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. That's a fact. Those are the facts, and that's the truth of the matter. It's going to be a great weekend in New York. All right, we got to move on. Let's move on. The other Major League Baseball series I want to talk about is the Dodgers and the Giants. Last night, the Dodgers beat the Giants 4-3. Justin Turner, Max Muncy, and DJ Peters each had home runs. Justin Turner, 1 for 4 with a home run. 2 RBIs, he struck out once. Max Muncy, he was 1 for 4 last night with a home run, an RBI, and a strikeout. DJ Peters, he had a home run. 1 for 3 with an RBI, but he struck out twice. David Price came back. He got the start. He only pitched 2 2/3 innings, but he did strike out 5. Victor Gonzalez pitched an inning, allowed 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, but he did strike out 1. He got the win last night. Kenley Jansen gets a big save. Pitched an inning, got 2 strikeouts out of the deal. The one guy I feel bad for is Alex Wood. He pitched 6 solid innings, gave up 6 hits, but he did give 4 earned runs, 3 home runs. He struck out 8. He got the loss last night. Evan Longoria, he was 1 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. Donovan Solano, 1 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. He struck out twice. That was last night's matchup. The Dodgers got the win at Dodger Stadium last night. Now, here's tonight's matchup for all you West Coast lovers out there. Anthony Scalafani. He has a 4-2 record with a 3.84 with a 3.54 ERA. I apologize for that. He is 4-2 with a 3.54 ERA, 51 strikeouts on the season. Walker Buehler. Think about him. He's 3-0 with a 2.94 ERA and 59 Ks on the season. That's tonight's matchup. The Saturday matchup, that's an intriguing one. Logan Webb. He has a 3-3 record with a 4.09 ERA and 47 Ks on the season. Julio Urias. He's going for the Dodgers tonight. He has a 7-1 record, a 3.03 ERA, 70 strikeouts on the season. The Sunday matchup. This is a matchup I would pay top dollar for. Kevin Guzman, 5-0 record, a 1.83 ERA, 76 strikeouts on the season. Clayton Kershaw is going for the Dodgers. 7-3 record with a 2.94 ERA, 71 strikeouts on this season. That is huge. The Dodgers took the opener last night. What will happen in the next 3? But I will say this though. If the Giants want to try to get back into this thing, they got to get a split or at least take 3 out of 4. If the Dodgers sweep, you'll know the Dodgers are back, baby. You'll know they're back. If they sweep or even take 3 out of 4, that's a big, big hit. That'd be a big help right there. But now, some other names of interest. For the Dodgers, Max Muncy. He's hitting 285 right now with an OBP of 455. 10 home runs, 45 RBIs on the season, and 43 hits. Justin Turner, what is he doing right now? Let's see. He's hitting 266 with 8 home runs, 25 RBIs, and 45 hits. Chris Taylor for the Dodgers. He's hitting 279, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs. Think about all these names right here. Now, for the Giants, Brandon Crawford, a 261 batting average with 11 home runs, 32 RBIs, 35 hits. Pretty nice. Buster Posey. What is he doing right now? He's hitting 351 with 9 home runs, 17 RBIs, and 39 hits. Nice. Evan Longoria. Right now, he's hitting 257, but his OBP is 357 with 6 home runs, 21 RBIs. Think about that. I'm wringing my hands because I'm going to be enjoying that series this weekend too. Those 2 series that I mentioned, the Mets, Braves, Giants, Dodgers, where can you go wrong? I would pay top dollar to be in New York, LA, or LA, or even San Francisco this weekend. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be great. 2 big series this weekend. The Dodgers took the opener against the Giants 4-3 last night in the home run barrage. We'll see what happens this weekend. But the truth is this. I would pay top dollar to be in New York or LA. And New York and LA would be the House of Pleasure. House of Pleasure. That's going to be a great weekend in Major League Baseball. You can mark my words. Now, all right, let's move on. Everybody has asked me, Scott, who do you think is the team to beat right now? Well, I've looked at the best record in baseball. And would you believe that the best record in baseball belongs to the San Diego Padres? And why do you ask? You can thank Manny Machado. You can thank Fernando Tatis Jr. You can thank Eric Hosmer. That is why the San Diego Padres have the best record in baseball, despite losing to the Brewers last night. I haven't forgotten about that. The San Diego Padres right now have the best record in baseball, but not by much. If you look at the American, I want to talk about the American League for a minute. In the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays have the best record in the American League right now. Surprisingly. The Boston Red Sox are only sitting a game back, though. And you know why. The Chicago White Sox, that weekend sweep of the Yankees last weekend kind of hurt them. The New York Yankees and the Oakland A's, they're both sitting 2 games back. Could you believe at one point the Yankees were dead last and the laughing stock of Major League Baseball and they were down and out? Boy, the fortunes have turned going into the hot months and going into June. But in the National League, San Diego owns the best record in the National League and overall. And let me tell you something. The San Diego Padres have the best record in baseball, but not by much. The Los Angeles Dodgers the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays are only a half a game back. The Boston Red Sox, don't count them out. The San Francisco Giants, if somehow the Brewers can if somehow the Padres get swept, and then, yeah, you know what I mean. Let me back up. If the Padres get swept this weekend, and if the Giants beat the Dodgers and sweep them, we could be talking about the San Francisco Giants having the best record in baseball. We got a long way to go. But it's not too early to be thinking about the All-Star break. We're going to be going into June. And in the month of June, you'll see who's the best and who's the worst. You'll see the best and the worst come out. You'll see some teams that surprise you. But are you going to be surprised if we see the Yankees back in the postseason? I won't. I know better than that. And that's all I have to say at this moment. All right. Now that we've gotten the baseball talk out of the way, let's talk about the NBA. I just had to do that. Now, tonight at 7 o'clock is Game 3 of the series between the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. The series is tied at a game apiece. The Knicks beat the Hawks 101-92. I'm going to do a Game 2 review, and I want to talk about something else. In Game 2, Derrick Rose of the Knicks, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench. He came off the bench and put up a performance like you wouldn't believe. Julius Randle, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. A double-double at the best possible time. And for the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, he had 30 big points, 7 assists. DeAndre Hunter, he had 18 points, 6 rebounds in that game. But the big story of Game 2 was the fact that a New York Knicks fan has been banned from Madison Square Garden for spitting on Trae Young. Yeah, this is a true story. There was a fan that spit on Trae Young. That fan was identified, and he has been banned from MSG until indefinitely. He got banned from MSG for it. Oh, come on, phone, hurry up. There. Where are we at in society today? Can't you just go to a sporting event and enjoy the game? And I mean, at Madison Square Garden, back in Game 2, full grandstands, full crowds. That's what the NBA needs right now. But right now, there's one fan who's been banned from MSG. for his actions for spitting on Trae Young. That fan was immediately identified. And to this fan, I say this. Game 3 is tonight at 7 o'clock. The Knicks and the Hawks. Julius Randle versus Trae Young. That's going to be a fun one. And this game is in the Omni in Atlanta. I'm not sure what the name of the arena is, but I'm just going to call it the Omni. Because that's how I was brought up. That's what I was brought up on. So, hey. To my Atlanta folks that are watching this day, I apologize. I'm just going to call it the Omni. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know the name of your arena. I really don't. Okay. Let's move on. You think one Game 3 is something special? Tonight, there's 2 of them. Not one, but 2 Game 3s tonight. The Knicks-Hawks play at 7 o'clock on ESPN. But tonight, at 8:30 on ABC, the Brooklyn Nets will face the Boston Celtics. The Nets lead the series 2-0. And the Celtics are struggling right now. Back in Game 2, Kevin Durant had 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Joe Harris, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 huge steals in that game. James Harden, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Brooklyn's 2 of the big 3. Or could they be the new big 3? We don't know. Now, for the Boston Celtics, Marcus Smart, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Kemba Walker, he had 17 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists in Game 2. Well, at least a good thing this time was there were no fans misbehaving in this series back in Brooklyn. Now, the series still moves on to Boston. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. Kyrie Irving played played a couple of seasons with the Boston Celtics. He knows how much the Celtics fans can heckle the opposing team. He has asked for the Celtics fans, and a lot of the fans in the NBA have asked, don't heckle the players. And I can understand that. And I'm going to address that just a little bit more here in just a few minutes. So stay tuned for that. Game 3 of this series is tonight, 8:30 on ABC. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But KD and James Harden and KD and James Harden looked really great. They really did. And Joe Harris was a huge, huge contributor. There's always the big 3 has a supporting role. And that's the bottom line of that series. All right. Let's move on. You know what? Tonight, I said there was 1 Game 3, 2 Game 3s. No. We don't have 1 Game 3, not 2 Game 3s, but 3 Game 3s tonight. The third Game 3 tonight is between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Mavericks lead that series 2-0. In Game 2, Luka Doncic had 39 huge points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr., to his credit, 28 points, 5 assists. Kristaps Porzingis, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 huge steals in that game. In the Mavericks victory. But for the Los Angeles Clippers, and boy, my heart goes out to these 2. Kawhi Leonard, 41 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Unbelievable. And Paul George, 28 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Luka Doncic said after their Game 2 victory, he said, I think we got it wrapped up. Because right now the Clippers are not looking good. I grant you that Leonard put up 41. But now, that was only Game 2. Game 3 is tonight at 9:30. Mavericks owner Mark Cuban has said, I feel great about our chances. I feel good. But I'm going to tell you right now, I look for the Clippers to try to make it. I see them coming back and making a series of it. Because after a loss like this, you know how they are. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George didn't have much to say after that loss. And that's all there was to it. And that's the truth of the matter. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on here. We had 3 game threes on tonight, on this Friday night. We have two big game threes on Saturday night. I want to talk about these two, and I want to talk about something else here in a few minutes. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers faced the Washington Wizards in Game 3 on Saturday night. The other night, the 76ers beat up the Wizards 120-95. The 76ers lead their series 2-0. Back in Game 2, Ben Simmons had 22 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. Joel Embiid, a big night for him, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Tobias Harris, 19 points, 9 rebounds. For the Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal had 33 big points, not enough. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Russell Westbrook, yes, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists. He had a double-double. He suffered an ankle injury and had to leave the game in the fourth quarter. And this is where this comes in. Russell Westbrook got popcorn tossed on him after he left the game with an ankle injury. A Philadelphia 76ers fan has been banned from the Wells Fargo Center indefinitely and got his season tickets revoked. Good. I'm glad. And to that fan for the 76ers, and also too, and to the Washington Wizards, I hate to do this, but right now you guys are the 76ers' big three has come through in a big, big way. And it's shown in the first 2 games of this series. Game 3 is tomorrow night. And I'll say this now. If the Wizards don't win Game 3, stick a fork in them. I mean, if Westbrook is a no-go on Saturday, on tomorrow night, stick a fork in the Wizards because they're going to be done. Because now, to Bradley Beal's credit, he's trying. 33 points. But it's not going to be enough against a team like the 76ers with Simmons, Embiid, Harris. Philadelphia has a big three of their own, and nobody doesn't realize it. I'm starting to come around to it, and that's the truth of the matter. Now let's talk about this one. The Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. They have a Game 3 Saturday night at 9:30 on ESPN. The Jazz beat the Grizzlies 141-129 in Game 2. Donovan Mitchell, 25 big points. That's all he needed. Mike Conley, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 15 assists. Wow. And Rudy Gobert, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Thumbs up to him. And that's how the Jazz got the job done in Game 2. After losing to the Grizzlies in Game 1, the Jazz had to win Game 2. But for the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant, 47 points, but not enough. 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Dylan Brooks had 23 points and 2 rebounds. Ja Morant played the game of his life in Game 2. But then, on top of that, 3 Utah Jazz fans heckled Ja Morant's parents by using lewd acts and using racial slurs. And those 3 Jazz fans have been banned indefinitely after making some vulgar and racist comments to his parent. This is Ja Morant's parents we're talking about here. 3 Utah Jazz fans made lewd, vulgar, and racist comments towards his family. And Ja Morant tried to keep his cool. But there's a time and a place when you mess with the family, it's on. I'm the type of guy, and now this is me personally. If you want to talk smack about me, fine, I can take it. If you're talking smack about one of my family members, Ja Morant, if I would have seen those 3 fans, one of those 3 fans, this would have been doing the talking. I guarantee you. I don't care if the league would fine me or suspend me for the rest of the playoffs. But my hat's off to Jazz security, to the security at the arena. They got those 3 fans out of the building. Now the Jazz fans were giving the Memphis players a hard time. And that's normal. Okay, if you want to boom, if you want to talk smack, that's fine. But leave the racism and the vulgarity towards the person's family. Leave the people's family out of it. Direct it towards them. Which leads me, because I want to talk about this for a minute. I want to take a moment and talk about this. Let's think about this. 3 Jazz fans have been banned from all Utah Jazz games due to vulgarity towards John Morant's family. You don't do that. You don't talk smack. If you want to talk smack about a player, fine. If you want to scream, "You're one of the worst players I've ever seen," fine. I have no problem with that. But when you start making racist comments and start making comments in general about a person's family, no, it does not fly with me. And think about Russell Westbrook. Think about Russell Westbrook in the Wizards 76ers series. When Westbrook left the game with an ankle injury, there was a 76ers fan that dumped popcorn on Russell Westbrook. That's disrespectful. I don't care. If you have an injured player, if you want to give him grief, fine. Give him grief. But you don't need to act like a horse's rear end when you're doing it. And on top of, where are we at in society today? Where are we at? It needs to stop. People, I know it's a playoff series and it's the NBA, it's the playoffs. But come on. You don't need to use racist words. You don't need to use vulgar language. You don't need to toss popcorn on somebody. You don't need to spit in a player's face. It needs to stop. That's 5 people that have been banned from their. It's been 5 people been banned from the playoffs total. If you stop and think about it, 3 from the Jazz, 1 for the 76ers, and the other one. I'm gonna have to let me back this here. Yeah, I got myself so excited. Oh yeah, the Knicks fan, Trae Young. To the 3 people that heckled John Morant's family, to the one who threw a bucket of popcorn on Russell Westbrook, and to the Knicks fan that spit on Trae Young, I got one thing to say to you. Shame on all 5. Shame on all of you. You all should be ashamed of yourselves for the way you act. There is no reason for it. There is no excuse, and that's all I have to say about that at this point. It's ridiculous. There is no reason for it, and I'm going to tell you now, to those folks right there, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. And right now, I'm disappointed to call myself an NBA fan. And I'm going to tell you, I'm getting ready. But folks, there's one thing I do want to do before I move on to the next story. My phone will let me hear. There is something we do need to talk about. You got it, folks. The Indianapolis 500 is this weekend. And I am looking forward to the month of May. The 500 field has been set. I'm going to give you the full starting lineup, and I'm going to give you my pick for the race. So let's enjoy it. On the front row, Scott Dixon, the 2008 champion, is on the pole. Colton Herta is in the middle. Rinus VK is on the outside. In row number 2, it's going to be Ed Carpenter. Tony Kanaan will roll off 5th, the 2013 winner, and Alex Palou. In row number 3, and there are 4 500 wins in row 3. Ryan Hunter-Reay, the 2014 champion, will roll off 7th. Helio Castroneves, in a one-race deal with Meyer Shank Racing, the 3-time winner will roll off 8th. And Marcus Erickson will be on the outside. In row number 4 on Sunday, Alexander Rossi, the 2016 champion. He's looking to repeat. And Ed Jones and Pata O'Ward. In row number 5, the first rookie, Pietro Fittipaldi. He is a rookie. And then we'll have Felix Rosenquist. And then the two-time winner and the defending champion, Takuma Sato, will roll off 15th. In row number 6, it will be James Hinchcliffe, Scott McLaughlin, and the other rookie, and then Graham Rahal. In row number 7, we will have Connor Daly, Jack Harvey, and Joseph Newgarden. In row number 8, we will have J.R. Hildebrand, Santino Ferrucci, and then Juan Pablo Montoya, a 2-time 500 champ himself. In row number 9, it will be Marco Andretti. Last year, the pole. This year, buried towards the back of the pack. Then Simon Pagenaud, the 2019 winner, and Sebastian Bourdais. In row number 10, it will be Stephon Wilson, Max Shelton, and Dalton Kellett. In the final row, and a huge one, Sage Karam, Will Power, the 2018 winner, and Simon Di Silvestro. Those are the field. That is your field for this year's Indianapolis 500. Now, I want to look at something here for a minute. I'm looking over the entire lineup. I mean, Ganassi Racing has a car on the pole. And I mean, Andretti Autosport, they got a few guys in here too. You guys are asking me, what about the Penske team? Well, I'm going to put it to you this way. Their fastest qualifier was a rookie. That's pretty bad. So if you are looking for a Penske car to go to Victory Lane on Sunday, all I have to say to you is, you better hope and pray Rick Mears comes out of retirement, because I don't see the Penske team doing well at all. Because their fastest qualifier was a rookie. Scott McLaughlin, the first Penske car, he's rolling off 17th. And then you got Newgarden 21st. And I look down the list, I'm going further down. I see Pagenaud 26th, then you got Will Power starting in the last row in 32nd. So a lot of people have been asking me, Scott, who's your pick? Well, I'm going to go with a former winner. I'm going to go with Tony Kanaan. I'm going to pick Tony Kanaan to win this year's Indianapolis 500. And here's why. Kanaan, I think he may have the best car on 4 wheels. He looked great in qualifying last Sunday. Now, Scott Dixon has the pole driving for the Ganassi team. But let me say this on a side note. His wife's pretty good looking. I saw her last Sunday. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. But the thing is, Dixon's wife is a wonderful looking person. And I shouldn't be disrespectful like that. But this year's Indianapolis 500 is going to have fans back. 135,000 fans for this year's great race. This is going to be fun. We are going to have a blast this year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the weather for the 500 could not be any better. Low 70s, low humidity. This year's race is going to be a blast. I promise you. And the bottom line is this. The winner of this year's 500 has proven his worth. And I will say this on a side note. If Helio Castroneves wins his 4th Indianapolis 500 Sunday, I will be shocked. But I'll say this on a personal note. This year's great 500-mile race on this Memorial Day weekend is going to be fun. All the way to the checkered flag. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts. And it pertains to the 500 this time. And you guys normally know I talk about something special. But this time, I am going to close with a song. Not a military march or an old college fight song, but a song longing for home. And with the Indianapolis 500 this Sunday, it's only appropriate that I close the show with this. Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still burning bright through the sycamores for me. The new morning is all its fragrance through the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the warm banks, that I long for my Indiana home. This 500-mile race is going to be something special. Mark my words. All right, everybody. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here on this day. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's going to be a great show. We're going to have a great 500 Sunday. Please join me Sunday night at 11:30 for the weekend wrap-up show. But you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you guys so much for being with me, and God bless. Goodbye, everybody, and I thank you.